What about Tyler Warren?
He's just got a knack for getting open, making plays. He's tough.
There was a coach that called me. He said, this is the best tight end I've ever seen come out of college. In my 20 years of scouting, this dude is a stud. Certainly looks that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Welcome to the Fitz and Whit Show. I am Fitz. This is my best friend, Whit. Yeah, we're still friends, even though we've been in an RV for a few days, right?
Ish. Friends-ish.
Friends-ish. This is a Wave original. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to give us 5 stars if you so wish. My hygiene this week, 4.5.
I'm proud of you.
Follow the show on social at Fitz and Whit. That's Fitz A-N-D Whit. New episodes every Wednesday.
Oh man, we are in an RV. Been so since Thursday. Left SoFi Stadium, Niners, Rams. Unfortunately, my Rams went down, but we've been road tripping ever since, Fitz. It's been good.
It's been good. There's a lot of red with the Rams, a lot of red in Nebraska in the stands.
That joke's not going to get old to you, I guess. It's old to me. It was old the minute you said it the first time. We just left Indianapolis, heard from Daniel Jones, got to visit with a little bit some of the folks there in the building, so that was a cool conversation. Plus, we're going to look at the relationship between quarterbacks and their coaches. Fitz knows all well about that because he was in 9 different teams and a bunch of different coaches. And we're also going to give you all the stories of what we've been getting up to on the road. All right, Fitz, it's time, baby. Our guest today was the 6th overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. He holds the record for single-game passing touchdowns as a rookie with 5 against Washington. He's been through hell and back with his time in New York, and he's now found the perfect new home with the Indianapolis Colts. Give a big Fitz and Whit welcome to Daniel Indiana Jones, baby.
Yo, DJ! All right, aside from having to talk to 2 retired NFL vets trying to hang on,
Bearded old men.
How good does this start feel for you guys?
Feels good, for sure. It's been fun for us. I think, going into the season, not a lot of people expected much from us. And, I don't think we thought too much about it, just kind of kept to what we were doing. And it's been fun, though. It's a fun group of guys. And I think we've played well kind of all 3 phases and played well together, which has been a lot of fun.
All right, for you, Daniel, you seem pretty comfortable and at home here in that sense. And your time here, just kind of seeing you enjoying the success y'all have had. I know obviously playing in New York, totally different. I mean, I played in Cincinnati and LA, 2 totally different places from an experience standpoint. What's Indy been like just being here and being part of this community?
It's been fun. I say, a lot of things are simpler here in Indy. The city, itself, the football, it's been fun. Guys are about football. I think I've sensed that since the first day I've, came in here. It's important to everyone here and it's been fun working with this group. And then, the city's been great too. People are nice. It's a sports town. Went to some Pacers games in the spring and got a sense for that. But yeah, it's a sports town. People are nice. I would imagine
traffic's a little better as well.
Traffic's a little easier for sure.
Just a hair. I used to always say in Cincinnati, it was like playing almost like you're still in college, but you're playing like pro sports. It's like kind of a chill, just sports community.
Right.
Is what it felt like,
Yeah. So when I was in New York, I was only there for 2 years, but I had a 2015 great season with the Jets, 2016 awful season. So just seeing the highs and the lows for me in those 2 years. 2016, after that happened for me, I didn't watch football after that half of the year, the second half of the year. I didn't want to be around it. I absolutely lost my love and hated it. I signed in Tampa because it was an hour door to door from my house to Disney World, and I could bring my kids, and that was the only reason I kept playing football. For you, I know your times in New York, you had some great highs, and then it got so difficult at the end, and I felt for you so much going through that. But did you ever feel that moment where you just couldn't be around it and hated the game?
I don't know if I could say I ever hated the game, but those drives back from the stadium Sunday, after you lost and you're driving through traffic, and those are tough and make you think about a lot of things. But I think at the end of that time in New York and kind of how it ended, it was tough, and you go through a lot, I think, and being able to go to Minnesota, kind of watch those guys, learn from Kevin, watch Sam play, see how they did things, and taking some scout team reps and just kind of being there for that, I think was really valuable for me to see it. So I don't know if I ever hated it, but it was this is real tough.
Who did you lean on? Because the other hard thing is well, this guy's making this much money, but there aren't many people that can relate to the struggle that you go to, or you put so much into the game and it isn't going the way you want. Was there somebody in particular that you leaned on when times got tough in New York?
Mostly my family. I'd say my parents, lucky to have, both my parents are very, involved and care a lot, support us. Me and my siblings come to all the games and are into it. So I'm lucky to have them. And then I have 3 siblings who live in New York now. So, spend a lot of time with them, and I'd say mostly my family. And then, from there, coaches I've had. A lot of people have asked me about, you got so much criticism and so many people said this and that about you. But there's also a lot of people during that time who kept telling me, they thought I could play or they thought I could do it. And a lot of those people were like the people that I respected the most, the people that I, really, I thought they knew, coached me or whatever it was, and looked up to their, whatever it was, part of their, football expertise. And that meant a lot to me at the time. So I'd say mostly my family, and then, coaches I've had or players I've played with, older guys.
It's one of the things I've enjoyed. Ryan has been, an advocate of how excited he was for your opportunity here with this organization, and I know he was pretty outspoken about he couldn't wait to see how it was going to go this training camp. And so he's been living good because people don't give him a lot of compliments.
I've been patting myself on the back.
He might have brought it up a few times in our production meetings about how right he was. But when you talk about that Minnesota experience, I'd be curious to know. Like, I feel like we're all, like, even at our age, not playing football, we're all looking for how we grow and adapt, just in life in general. But when you say Daniel Jones, New York Giants, and then go to Minnesota and come here, what are some of the things you feel like you've grown in, or maybe experiences you've had that you've matured from?
Well, I always thought I worked, really hard. I tried to work really hard, and it was important to me to prepare, watch film, study. And I think I did that, but then going to Minnesota, I saw how Sam prepared, how, Kevin prepared those guys, Josh McCown, Grant Udinski, that crew, and how detailed they were day in and day out on every little bit of the plan and how they're going to study it, what they're looking for, walking through it, quizzing each other in the quarterback room. And that made a big impression on me. And I was like, okay, this is maybe the next level of some of that stuff. And I think that changed. I think Kevin's just how aggressive he was in the play calling. I mean, you guys see it. It's like, it's play pass, but it's a lot of drop back shots, taking their chances, and that made an impression on me too. So I think several things like that, and just being around those guys.
And now fast forward to being with Shane. Did you know him before you signed here, or no?
He came to Duke when I was coming out, and we spent a day. We shot some hoops in Cameron Indoor, but that was the bit I knew him.
Yeah, and so how has that relationship progressed? He obviously had a great run when he was in Philly, and I know he was with Phillip Rivers back in the day and loves to do all the jittery Phillip Rivers stuff. But how's your relationship going with Shane?
It's been good. I've enjoyed working with him. I think, he's had so much success with so many different guys. I think I saw that, and that was cool to me. And then getting here, just communicating, I think, throughout the week, how he sees the game plan. And then once we get to Friday, Saturday, he's pretty specific about how he sees the game plan out. Hey, in this situation, I'm thinking this or this, and this is what we expect them to do. And, be ready for this, be ready for that. And I think that communication has really helped me prepare, kind of like, some of the stuff we were talking about earlier. Because then you go, hey, I got to go back and look at this look, or hey, I got to go back and see what this issue could be and this pressure. What do I need to be ready for here? And I think that's really helpful. But
what about you wear a wristband? Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you wear one in New York?
I did, yeah. I did.
I like the
Are you anti?
He's a wristband guy.
I like the wristband.
He likes the wristband.
Especially when it's somewhere loud. Wristband 15. All right.
It's a little quicker.
So how do you read it to yourself and then you read it out loud? Do you read it out loud the first time?
I just read it out loud. Yeah.
And then
so
you
he'll give me like
wristband
34, and then an abbreviated version of you got this play, and so I know what it is, and then I'll read it.
Okay, so
I don't know this. Do y'all study that? Like, do you get a wristband before the game?
I would never. Yes, but I would never study the number. You're not going to be like, 17. I know what that play is. But so he then does tell it in
practicing reciting it, like maybe the night before the game or the morning of the game. Do you ever or you just read it?
I practice like the plays that aren't on the wristband.
Okay.
So but but I don't practice reading it. But you know all the plays that are in the game plan. So it's like, hey, why move to trio right stack on third down? You're like, okay, this you know what the play, you should know what that is. But
do you predetermine on the wristband on third down cadences and stuff, or no?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
here and there.
Yeah, there's always little tidbits, I guess, that you could put on there too. Mm-hmm. We did it a little bit, not a ton. Sometimes you have to flip them. I don't know if you guys are doing that on yours, or you just have them.
We have both ways. I've had to flip them before. Yeah. Flip them before.
Every now and again, you get a young guy that says Lou instead of Ron or something with the checkdowns. But what about Tyler Warren? So coming out of the draft, there was a coach that called me. He said, "This is the best tight end I've ever seen come out of college. In my 20 years of scouting, this dude is a stud." Certainly looks that way.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud, and pretty much since the first day he got here, you're like, wow, this guy. He just does what you'd expect him to do. I think I've tried to explain it to people like as a quarterback, there's a lot of stuff that's a little gray, or you haven't talked about it all the way, or it's not a hard and fast rule. And in those situations, he kind of just does what you'd predict or what you'd expect him to do or what you'd want him to do. And as a young player, I think that's, I certainly haven't seen it. And, he's just got a knack for getting open, making plays. He's tough, finishes runs. He's going to get the extra 3 or 4 yards. Smart football player. But he's been big for us.
Tell me about Jonathan Taylor. Like, what really makes him so unique and special just from your time around him?
I think, I think his size and speed, for one. I mean, there's not too many guys. I mean, Saquon, you talk about guys who are 230 or whatever he is, but can also run past, all the DBs on the field and hit the home run. Like, that's a big difference maker. For us, the guys up front have played, off the charts. And then, so I think we've seen in some of these games, you wear on them a little bit in the first half and you got a lot of 4 or 5 yard runs. And then the second half, like here comes a 20 yarder, here comes a 40 yarder. And that I think is that's a huge deal. It's nice as a quarterback, you hand the ball off and you get a huge.
Nice as a lineman too.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
It seems like Downs is a dude that's really easy to throw to too.
Yeah.
He just kind of gets it. But it's like I love the way the offense is set up where you've got these huge targets and big dudes on the outside and him being able to work on the inside. How the rapport with Michael Pittman and with Alec Pierce on the outside. What I keep saying is it just seems like you're in such a great rhythm. Your feet look awesome, but every ball's on the face mask too. Have you had big guys like that to throw to? Like how advantageous has that been for you to be able to have those big dudes on the outside?
Yeah, like you said, I think each one of those guys kind of does something a little bit different for us and brings something different to the table. I think the size is huge with Pittman, going over the middle, making tough catches, fighting through contact, AP down the field and can go up and catch the ball. Obviously he can run and then he can go up and high point it over guys. I think that's a big deal. And like you said, Josh has been huge, especially on third down when you're counting on guys to find little spots and get, you need 4 or 5 yards and it's going to be a tight window. He does that really well, finds that spot, catches it. And but the big guys outside are a big deal. I think you got, guys who are physical, can body a guy, catch an in cut, or can go up and, high point the ball when it's up there. I think that's a big deal.
So it's Pittman Jr. Have you ever seen Senior? Were you old enough to see Senior?
I think I saw him a little bit when I was
the biggest arms,
no question.
The biggest arms you've ever seen in your life. He played for the Cardinals. So growing up, you played for the Cardinals, and he played for Tampa. But you ask him a question, I'm going to pull up a picture.
Yeah, you pull up that. Let me ask you this, because obviously Fitz he loves all up to get into leadership stuff, and one of the things I think is unique about the situation, you come into Indy, obviously you just left Minnesota being there with Sam and KOC and them for a little bit of the last past of the year, but you come into this, you're obviously trying to compete for the job, but there's almost a thing there of you don't know if it's your job or not, you're trying to earn it. So it's less about really being a captain or being the guy who's telling people what to do or any of that type stuff. It's more about just earning that respect. What was that mentality like? And then now that you've got the job, y'all are having success, do you feel anything that has to be different? I kind of get the idea you're kind of the same guy all the time regardless, but how has that been like for you?
Yeah, I think the last thing anyone wants is the new guy who comes in and talks too much or has too many opinions about things. So I think, just coming in and trying to learn it, learn how things have been going around here. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys in the locker room who were drafted here. Most of the guys, I think there's a lot of people who've stuck around here and have done things one way for a long time. I think so. Learning that and learning kind of how the locker room operates, trying to get to know guys, working hard, trying to show that you're about football, you're about the right stuff, and then I think playing well. I mean, you playing well at practice. I think guys want to see you do the right thing, put the ball in the right spot, get in the right play. I think earning guys' trust that way. I think it's about what happens on the field at the end of the day, right? So,
yeah. The two things I love most about you, aside from like the physical and all those traits that you have, and we were talking about this before you came on, but you're tough as shit, and like that part. I think that gets overlooked, like the things that you went through in New York, not the mental part of it, but the physical part of it, the toll it took on your body, but the fact that you just kept getting up and taking the hits and not complaining and getting up, like that to me was like, all right, this dude won me over. Like even when the seasons weren't going as you needed or wanted them to go, like that won me over. And then the second part is a quarterback has dealt with adversity. Like there's not going to be a lot of stuff that comes your way this year that you haven't been through before, that you haven't had to handle. And so the leadership aspect of it and coming in, I think these big fellas, like right away, they love you because they've seen the toughness, they've seen the grit and the way that you've handled yourself in the past. And the second part of it is you don't flinch. Like, so you guys have had a great start to the season, but when something happens this year and it doesn't go your way, like you're a guy that's already been there and you've done that. And so as we're talking about quarterbacks and previewing the season, like those to me are the two things that stood out as to why I love you so much, your game, and the way that you play because you approach it the right way. So there's no question in there.
Yeah.
But
thank you, I appreciate it.
There's Pittman's dad. He's a fucking monster.
Monster.
Yeah. So he lives in Arizona now. I actually saw him at like a indoor soccer game the other day, and he's still yoked.
Is he?
But it's just like his son obviously is taller and more slender than he is, but he's a big ass dude.
Yeah.
So.
Did you play with him?
I never did, no. But
There's
I grew up like, what? Yeah, there's like, I think I played with 40% of the NFL.
Let me ask you this, Daniel. What does Daniel Jones do when he's not playing football? You golf? What's your recreation? What's your hobbies?
Season.
Okay. Decent? What's the handicap?
Probably like high single digits right
Okay.
now, but I can blow up. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, that's good.
It sounds so, he's a 3.
Oh, wow.
He's ridiculous.
Legit,
We sound very similar.
Okay,
like
yeah.
the ball might spray around a little bit, but you enjoy playing.
Yeah.
Anything else? Rubik's Cube, books?
Rubik's Cube.
Any shows? The Summer I Turned Pretty?
We just got through binge watching.
We binged season 1 of The Summer I Turned Pretty on the bus.
How is it?
It can get pretty lonely on here, so we just.
Yeah, well, we both have teenage daughters, so we've heard they watched it. So we had to figure out during this time what they've seen.
It's not okay.
It's not good.
Sexual.
It's not good.
Sexual.
Very bad. It's very bad.
What's your show? Do you have a show that you go to?
I think I'll watch a show if I get going on one. I don't have one right now. I watched something called Untamed recently, I think. It was a Netflix show about a guy in the national park.
We're only allowed to talk about things that are on Prime in here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really?
No, I fall asleep to Seinfeld every night.
Seinfeld?
So, yeah.
Frasier for
That's what
me.
I do. Are you serious?
Frasier.
Are you serious?
Frasier Crane. You kidding
Frasier
me?
Crane?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Frasier and Niles
All right.
Crane every night.
All right. Well, we want to be respectful of your time. We appreciate you coming and
Appreciate
hanging
y'all
out,
having
brother.
me.
Yeah,
Thanks.
appreciate
Good
it.
to see you
Nah,
guys.
yeah,
It's
you
great.
too, brother.
Rooting for you.
Enjoy the rest of the trip.
Yeah. Thank you. Toyota is all in all season. This year, we're going deeper and giving fans more ways to lose their minds over bringing back another exciting year of Toyota Game Day giveaways. The official automotive partner of the NFL is rewarding football fans with a chance to win epic giveaways every week of the season.
Predict between big plays happening in the second half of every Sunday night football game and get a chance to win prizes like Brock Purdy's Sequoia, NFL shop merch, and more.
They're just giving stuff away here.
Man, I want something.
It's 22 weeks of fun and thousands of prizes. Head over to toyota.com/NFL to learn more. That's toyota.com/NFL.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Ends on 2/8/26. Open to legal residents of the 50 USDC. 18 and over. For complete details, how to enter prizes, and official rules, visit www.toyotasgamedaygiveaways.com.
All right, this next segment is brought to you by Toyota. All in, all season. All right, Whit, it's time we look at this week in the NFL. We saw a lot of gutsy calls this weekend, and one thing I want to talk about in those end game situations, you can really feel how confident a coach is in their quarterback. And let's go with two different examples that we saw. The first one being Sean Payton and Bo Nix at the end of that game. Not did they just go for two, which a lot of coaches wouldn't have done, but they kept throwing the ball at the end of the game and put it in the quarterback's hands, which is the way it should be to ice that game out.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. I want to see in those moments. If this is the guy we believe in and we're preaching, hey, as a football team, we're going to always stay aggressive. We're going to do whatever it takes to win football games. It puts us in the best situation to win week in and week out. Then a lot of the times, this guy that we're saying is going to lead us to a Super Bowl, we got to put it in their hands and live or die by those kind of decisions. And when you see that, I think to me, it's something that not only when the moment goes good is it big, but going forward, it creates a confidence of we believe in these situations, we can win in any means necessary. And you also see it on the other side of it when you don't make that call. And we saw that in the Arizona-Tennessee game.
I mean, what are we doing? There's 2 minutes and 12 seconds left, 3rd and 8, I think. They got to go try to get the first down. There's only one timeout left. And Kyler Murray goes handoff, 3rd and 8, handoff again. They didn't have the confidence to put it in his hands. Well, really, that situation, you throw an incompletion, you're going to get the 2-minute warning anyway. You hand it off. I mean, you're gaining about 8 seconds there. It just didn't really make sense to either of us as we were watching it. But as a quarterback, the mentality, you can feel it in the headset. And especially, for a guy, Bo Nix has played a lot of football, even though a lot of it's taking place in college. Kyler Murray's played a lot of football. You can feel in the headset the hesitancy of, gosh, we're just trying to hold on to this thing. The reason I love Sean Payton, and really I'm starting to fall in love with Bo Nix a little bit here, is they go to get it. And they're fearless. And you can tell with the way that Sean calls a game, and that trickles down to Bo Nix. That's the way he plays. He plays free. He's out there knowing that the ball is in his hands. He's got to protect it, but he's not safe with it either. He's not afraid to be in that situation. I think when you go run, maybe we'll pass this time, that's not breathing confidence into your team and your quarterback. And unfortunately, that starts to trickle down to the identity of your team as well.
It does, and we've seen the effect it has in games. I mean, I think I go all the way back to Rams-Texans week 1. The setup they had, 1st, 2nd down there at the end of the game, same kind of situation. They run the ball, and then, oh, lo and behold, really? This was about we're going to insert Puka on all these runs 2 in a row, and then on 3rd down, if we need it, he's going to slip out to the flat. We're going to throw him the ball. We're going to win the game by completing the 1st down. We saw that in the Lions game against the Ravens. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown goes in on the play action. Tough throw, difficulty level high, right? But it's hard to cover that guy as well. And so he gets open, makes a game-winning catch. And in those situations, you go, we believe in the quarterback. We believe in the play calling. We believe this puts us in a situation to win. And we're never going to sit there and go, man, I wish we would have. Because the mentality that creates on my football team is, man, I wish we'd have made that gutsy call in big moments, but we just didn't. I think in Arizona, they're probably sitting there going, yeah, you saw Kyler Murray say this is losing 101. This was a terrible way to lose a game. But also they're probably going, why in the world did we not try to never give them an opportunity to win this game by us going and winning this game? That creates a different mindset in my locker room.
Yeah, and that just starts to make me think about the relationship of the play caller and the quarterback. And we just left a building right now with the Indianapolis Colts that's working right now. Shane Steichen is one of the best play callers in the National Football League. We saw it with his time in Philadelphia, and now we've seen it again, and he's got his quarterback in Indianapolis. Daniel Jones, all we've heard about him, he works hard. He really cares about it. The guys respect him, and he's smart as hell. And when you've got a guy that's going to do all those different things, he's an easy guy to coach. So he goes and asks Shane Steichen, hey, coach, I'm seeing this. Can we do that? Well, yeah, you've got the full trust of your coach. Yep. And as a coach, you've got the full trust in your quarterback. That's when you start to see these offenses get elevated to the next level. Toyota is all in all season, bringing back another exciting year of Toyota Game Day giveaways.
Predict between big plays happening in the second half of every Sunday night football game and get a chance to win prizes.
It's 22 weeks of fun and thousands of prizes. Head over to toyota.com/NFL to learn more. That's toyota.com/NFL. I think the other one I'd love to look at is the Bucs and Baker Mayfield. And having been with Joshua Grizzard before, he's in his first situation where he's calling plays. Not easy. And it's not easy because who was there before him? Your guy, Liam Cohen. All the praise and the things that Liam Cohen did there, parlayed that into a head coaching job with Jacksonville. It's not an easy spot to take over as Joshua Grizzard because the expectations are here. But what has he done? He's taken it and he's run with it with Baker.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest things when you see those kind of opportunities for guys and they take advantage of it. I mean, I think you brought up Liam's name. I thought it was cool seeing Trevor Lawrence talk last week a little about the Robert Saleh kind of ending of the game and Liam going out and kind of doing that. And he talked about, man, Liam's a guy, his energy, his presence, how fired up he is for us to be successful and how much belief he has in us. It's starting to kind of have an effect even on me. Like I almost feel his energy. And I think of Trevor's kind of this guy, we'd probably say you put in that category really laid back and you almost want to see more emotion out of. And then Liam's this guy, I mean, he's all over the place with his passion and energy. And I think we all had a good laugh of the Duval thing when he got the job. But that's who Liam is. I've always told you he's the little boxing dummy that you can just punch on the ground. He bounces right back up. That's Liam's personality. Like, I am going to be who I am. I'm going to shoot my shot. And if it misses, I'm shooting it the next time again. And you start to see a little bit of this Jacksonville team is starting to take that persona. You see how they ended that game against the Niners. And I think that's what you realize is that these quarterbacks, these coordinators, it's almost like their personalities can feed off of each other in some of these situations.
Yeah, and I love that they level each other out too, because I think it's happening a little bit in Indianapolis. Steichen can be a pretty fiery guy all over the place. He's got a million things going on and like a beautiful little mind of his. And Daniel Jones is like this all the time, where you do want to pull it out a little bit. I think what you see with Daniel Jones, maybe it's not the yelling and the fire, but in the way that he plays, the respect that guys have for him because he's so tough, because he plays with that grit, because he doesn't complain. And he can ask anything of the guys because he's the one that's in there putting in all the work as well. Nobody's going to outwork him in the building. I think that's what we heard over and over again in that building is how hard of a worker he is.
Yep.
But just to be able to sit in there and talk to Steichen and Ballard and Miss Irsay too was wonderful. It was cool insight from them.
It was, and then you start to think of situations. I think sometimes we talk in the league about what a quarterback has around them and what their situations are, and it's like we want to say, hey, you can't take away how well they're playing because of all the factors. Like we think of a Jalen Hurts, and people are always going to say, well, the offensive line in Philly or Saquon or these receivers. You look at this Daniel Jones situation and give this guy some credit for how he's played, but also, like, this is the best offensive line Daniel Jones has ever played in front of, without question. Some of the best skill that he's ever had. Now, is it one dynamic guy? No, but probably the mixture, as you've talked about, of different guys he has, and then the running back in Jonathan Taylor, who's an absolute rare breed specimen. It's really, for him, this is a great situation. It's the best he's probably been in from like a totality standpoint in the NFL, and he's taking advantage of it. So you don't take it away from him, but you do recognize, like, hey, put in this situation. I think it's why you had so much belief in him. A great play caller, a lot of talent, a good offensive line, and a special running back. Let this dude show you what he's capable of in that kind of scenario, and we'll see who really is. And I think you feel they have a lot of confidence, not just in who they are on offense, but in what Lou Anarumo's doing on the defensive side, the weapons they have there as they get healthier on that side of the ball. I think the Colts might be a true contender.
Yeah, I agree. They're a tough offense to stop, and then everybody just gushing about Ty Warren too, and the player that he is. So we heard it with Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba when he was on the desk with us, just talking about how easy it is to throw to JSN, how he's always in the right place at the right time, how there's just a feel, and that's something that's hard to teach. It's just innate. It's these guys that are really smart football players, and that's what Daniel Jones said about Ty Warren is he's just smart. He's always in the right spot. An example of that would be these sail routes where he's, lined up at tight end on the end of line scrimmage and he's running 12 to 15 yards and taking a left-hand turn to the sideline. There's a lot of different ways that can go. When you watch Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, it's amazing because sometimes Travis turns in and Patrick throws him the ball. I would never be able to do that. They have an insane amount of chemistry. They've worked together forever. But what you do like is called getting friendly. It's not necessarily making a beeline for that sideline. If there's somebody out there or you feel a softness in the zone, you can kind of slow up your route and the ball's got to hit you in that hole. And I've seen it multiple times with him already, and that's just not something you see out of a rookie. And I think that's been really impressive for me. The most impressive rookie I was ever around throwing the ball to was Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin had such a great feel and sense for the receiver position. I think that's played a large part in why he's been so successful. That's also why I'm very high on the Bucs right now because Chris is just getting back into the offense after the big injury last year. He's had 3 catches the last 2 weeks. Mike Evans was out. Bucky Irving was out, and they still are able to just go in and produce. It's almost the defensive side of the ball with the Bucs that you start to ask questions about. But man, they're a team that can beat anybody with that firepower.
Yeah, they are. I mean, without a helmet deflection off of, a helmet for Sam, maybe the Seahawks win that game. So one of those things that, I've always told you, I think the one thing that scares me with Tampa is just the secondary. At times, we were a part of last year's game where they gave up 500 yards to Kirk Cousins, and he didn't even make it through the season. So that's the fear I'd have with them. But thinking of more quarterback, coach relationships, I mean, what about the one we just watched last Thursday with Mac Jones and Kyle Shanahan? I mean, unbelievable job and that's that was a guy the Niners wanted to draft. I mean, that was one of the guys they thought they'd draft in the first round, didn't end up doing it, and now you get him back. So there's already, think about it the way you go into those preparations. Kyle Shanahan already had a plan for if he got Mac Jones, here's how he'd love to play with him. Now he has him in this scenario with Brock Purdy out. Does an unbelievable job dialing up plays, putting him in a situation, but Mac Jones goes out and plays absolutely out of his mind. So it's another one where they're really feeding off each other and kind of on the same page with what we're capable of doing and how we're going to go out and execute.
Yeah, and just to cap off the Mac Jones thing, I mean, he was playing with Demarcus Robinson, who had just gotten off a 3-game suspension, and he was playing with Kendrick Bourne, who wasn't on the team when the year started. And so they were out there slapping it together. Luckily for Mac, you could see the chemistry with Kendrick Bourne. They had played together before, and Kendrick Bourne had his most success with Mac Jones in his rookie year receiving. But it's an amazing thing, this fit and timing. I think the last few years we've really seen it. We've seen it with Baker. We've seen it with Sam, which was great. They faced off against each other. And Mac Jones now is just another shining example of I'm in an offense that fits my skill set. I have a play caller that believes in me, and I'm going to reward him with the way that I play the game. The other quarterback situation with the coach I'd love to talk about is Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And, Morton going into that situation, having to follow Ben Johnson and what he's done the last few years, there's a tough act to follow. But Jared, again, provides that calm for him. And after week 1 where there were questions, and is this going to be the same Detroit team? I think we found out that they're going to be pretty steady this year and tough to beat.
Yeah, I think Detroit's going to be pretty special. I think they all just threw us off. They wanted everybody to talk about somebody else so they could do their run. Because this was them last year, right? They were the team that everybody circled and said all year long, this team's going to the Super Bowl. And they lived that expectation all year. And this year, it's almost like just because of 1 week, them not playing at their best on the road, we've all of a sudden just kind of forgot the Detroit Lions exist. And now they're just going out and they are putting together those performances that we saw last year. I think you're right about that one. I think another cool one like that is Dak Prescott and Shoddy. I mean, to see Brian Schottenheimer and Dak, I mean, obviously people don't have a lot of expectations for the Cowboys after the Micah trade, but it's like, man, they've tied Green Bay. Now they just beat up on the Jets. You see Dak's playing at an extremely high level. And then him really talking, I thought, post-game about having this conversation with Shoddy about in the game that, he's like, hey, man, he came on my headset and basically said, hey, I'm calling you crap plays. Like, I'm going to get you some better calls. And then started dialing it up. And he's like, and then he starts telling me in my head, like, that basically he's in his bag and just get ready to go. And just kind of that relationship that fast, like, that's a really cool thing. And they also hear Dak afterwards talk about the character that he is, the culture that he's built as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, that he feels obligated, like, man, this guy's such a good dude. He coaches us in such a great way, and he's built such a good culture. I want to go out and play out of my mind just for him. And so I feel like I'm more aggressive, I'm taking shots, and I'm pushing the football because I want us to go win that bad.
Yeah, I'm telling you, as a quarterback, you can feel it coming through the headset. Does this guy believe in me or not? And when there's belief in you, you want to repay them or reward them so much by the way that you play the game. Now, looking ahead to our Thursday night game this week, we've got the Giants, we've got Jaxson Dart and Brian Dable. That relationship is going to be really interesting. Dable gets a lot of credit for what Josh Allen did in Buffalo. Jaxson Dart so far, first of all, I didn't know that he was this good of a runner. Yeah. He has been great in the first 2 games, and that's helped him out a little bit. Their first win, he got some help with some field position. Getting the ball inside the 5 twice is always nice in your first start. Reminded me a little bit of the Rams game with Tua back in Miami. But that one is a work in progress, and this is, I think, what Giants fans want to see. We want to see some progress here. Jaxson Dart is going to have to figure out how to slow down a little bit. He's going 1,000,000 miles an hour. His feet are all over the place. Those are things that are coachable things that as he gets more comfortable, you hope you see a little bit more of. But I think there is a little more hope around New York right now. Certainly the way they played the last 2 weeks and some of the flashes that we've seen from Jaxson Dart.
Yeah, and on the other side, it's Jalen Hurts and Petula. Like, just haven't seen this offense. It's had some spurts. It's had some moments in these games where, hey, we're the champs. All these teams give us our best shot, and we've been able to respond. You know, you think of the Rams game when they're down so much, they make some huge plays in the second half. They've had some moments against these teams, but the consistency of who they looked like last year just hasn't been there. And is it just getting on the same page of who we are and what we want to do? Is there some ways that we can really put Jalen in the best position possible? Or maybe is the running game's not there? And that was something that was huge for us last year. Saquon ripping off 70-yarders left and right.
That's nice. That does help a quarterback.
That helps a quarterback, right?
Caller,
just
yes.
a little bit. Makes you look good, and that's not there. So then who are they now? You know, and do you start to press? Do you start to push? Like, what are we going to do now? I think that's going to be interesting to see. Will Philly adapt a little bit? Or are they just going to kind of say, hey, no, we're confident in what we're doing, and we're going to keep on doing the same things?
Yeah, and the interesting thing to me is Sirianni has now been there. He was there with Steichen, right? He was the head coach when Steichen was the play caller. Steichen leaves, was doing a great job in Indy. And they struggled the next year. They brought in Brian Johnson. They had to feel it out. Then ended up not working out. So then they go and they get Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's then the coordinator. What do? They go and they win the Super Bowl. And then Kellen Moore leaves and he gets a head job with New Orleans. Kevin Petullo comes in. Now the difference with Kevin is Kevin's been there. He knows Jalen. He's been in those meeting rooms. He's been around Sirianni quite a bit. And so I've been a little surprised at the struggles that have happened so far this year. And with the run game, they haven't had it. I think Saquon's longest run, I know it's under 20 yards. I think it's 17 yards on the year, which after the year he had last year, you kind of scratch your head a little bit. And then it's the A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith's gotten going a little bit. These guys want to win, and that's what you love. But it does, you know, I'm always talking about vibe checks. That's an interesting one. But this is one where you're almost glad they lost. Yeah. You're almost glad they lost because this is a true chance to look in the mirror and say, okay, we've got to fix this thing. Why are we not running the ball well? Why is AJ not getting his targets? What are some of these things that we can do to get our offense going? And when you keep winning those tight games, sometimes those things get swept under the rug and you don't address them. But I'm interested to see how they come out in New York on Thursday night.
Yeah, because I think this is the truth. I mean, NFL football, you got to come to grips with. This isn't college. We're not worried about rankings. We're not trying to be the number one team in the country all year. This isn't a fighting world where you got to be 40-0 to have your legacy known. The reality of this thing is how good a football are you playing when you get to the end of December, and do you get a chance to get in that dance of the playoffs and be playing your best football? You can be your best version of who you are as a football team. So these journeys sometimes of failing and winning and having success, getting punched in the mouth, is a great thing, because the sooner you can have it now and not have it when there's not any more time to have these moments and it's over, the season's gone if we have this kind of performance. Let's get it over with now, find out who we're going to be for this season and create that identity, because we can't forget this Philadelphia Eagles team last year was 2-2 going in their bye week, and people were, again, same topic. They're underperforming. They're not as good as we expect them to be. They got it figured out on their bye week and they went on a run where this is only their second loss in 20 games. So, I mean, that's the truth. This is a really good football team that I just think they got to find out, reconvene a little bit. Who are we this year? What is this team's different? We're not last year's team. Like, what are we going to be really good at? And what are the things we can do well? And maybe getting punched in the mouth and losing a fight is a good thing if we can go win the next few.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that game Thursday night. We'll roll into town Wednesday, which means we get to not sleep on the RV bunk beds Wednesday night, which I'm also looking forward to. But you've been a sport. I haven't let Whit sleep in a hotel yet. We were at the Lowe. We parked outside the Lowe's in Kansas City, and he was thinking about it. He was thinking about slapping down the credit card and getting a room for himself. I said no dice. This is a boys' trip. We're hanging out in the RV. So what was the drive to Lincoln, Nebraska?
About 12 and a half.
12 and a half hours, and we had to get there before 9 a.m. to be able to park the bus where we did. So we were on a time crunch. They did an amazing job. We saw the sea of red. I'm not going to make the joke again, but a lot of red the last few days. Yeah. But the Lincoln scene, it was cool. I would say, is it better than Harvard? Yes. Is it better than LSU? What would you say? No chance. Not better than LSU.
It's not an SEC experience. I'll say this, it's great. It's a good experience. I'm sure it's the top 20, 25 school as far as experiences easily. I think SEC is pretty hard to compete with from that standpoint. Just, listen, those people are crazy. I'm not saying it's because they're normal, They got some issues, but SEC experience is pretty rare. So I put that still there.
So we got to talk to Matt Rule before the game. He's got that program going a little bit. That was a lot of fun. He really enjoys coaching there. They released the red balloons.
That was cool.
After the first touchdown.
That was probably my favorite part of the whole day.
That was cool.
That visual was sick.
Yeah, that was quite the experience. Where did we go from there?
Oh, we went to KC, 1587.
Yeah, that night we went to 1587. Okay, this 1587 Prime. This is Travis and Patrick Mahomes' new restaurant right in the Lowe's Hotel, Kansas City. Insane.
I mean, pretty bougie. We pulled up and in the RV with our faces just on the side of the bus, right in front of the restaurant. You know, you kind of felt a little bit like I was like, you know, Biggie or like, you know, a hip hop star just showing up. Just
I had a collar shirt on. You're supposed to. You had a hoodie on. So
well, that's because I wear hoodies. You know. Yeah. But we had a good time. Restaurant was awesome. Food was great.
All right, we stayed the night in Kansas City. Then we decided to go to the Brass Armadillo. We did some antiquing. We also went to Larry's Boots on the side of the road. We picked out outfits for each other that we're going to be wearing in Lexington, Kentucky, because we'll be real cowboys wearing cowboy outfits and riding horses, which I'm excited to see how big the horse is that you're going to get on.
Or if it'll let me get on.
Or if it'll let you get on. But I don't know. So far, I think Indy's been my favorite stop. It's been my favorite stop just because Daniel Jones, I've wanted to talk to him for a while because I am so impressed with him and the way he's handled himself throughout his career. Good friends with Shane Steichen, being able to catch up with him a little bit. And you love walking into a place where vibes are high. And right now, the vibes are high. We got to talk to Lou Anarumo for a little bit. He's feeling pretty good. So it's a great team and a great town as well.
Yeah, it's been an awesome trip. I would say that was a pretty cool day getting around those guys and just feel their positive energy. We've had some great stops. More to come, and we'll report next week on how the horse goes, and we'll see whether I get to get on one or not, or whether we get Fitz to dress up like a jockey. Who knows? But I'm looking forward to that part of the trip, and then going on to Philly, and then to New York. So next week, everybody will get to hear a little bit about the second half of the journey.
All right, big Whit Energy moment of the week. You've been changing the rules. You've been rewriting it. It hasn't always been linemen. We're talking about D linemen. We're talking about college guys. What about Cam Scattaboo getting under Curtis Granderson's chin and leveling him and then putting him 6 feet under into the ground? Could we put Scattaboo in the category?
I mean, that block definitely deserves some big Whit Energy.
He was angry. He was
frustrated. Had a little bit of a frustrating day. You know, you don't see Scattaboo making mistakes, fumbling like that. So I think he took out a little frustration on the day there. But you know what? Listen, hell of a block by him. Doesn't qualify. He's not a lineman of some sort, so I can't give it to him. So my big Whit Energy this week, I'm going to go with a guy that I got a lot of love and respect for, Tristan Wirfs. The big fella has been out. He was injured, went through surgery this offseason, second game back, and this Seattle Bucs absolute war of offenses that was going on there. I don't know what happened in the Seattle defense, but maybe Tristan Wirfs happened because he was out there showing why he is an all-pro, Pro Bowler type player. Had an unbelievable game, had him pulling and moving out there, tackle traps, tackle pulls, everything else. Had a little skirmish with Leonard Williams in the end zone there that ended up being a big foul, big personal foul. That was fun. That's two large humans getting after it. So that one's one, Fitz. I'm okay with you running away again. You know, I know your claim to fame is running away with John Henderson. So you would have definitely been running when Leonard Williams and Tristan Wirfs are swinging at each other. So I'm going to go Tristan Wirfs. I'm proud of his comeback from the injury and then how he's playing, man. He's a hell of a player.
Awesome. I also think Tristan Wirfs was the guy when they were coming out of the tunnel. Baker was talking shit to the fans. I think Tristan was just there laughing like at his quarterback and how funny it was. And
well, I think you could talk a lot of shit when Tristan Wirfs was standing beside you. So I feel good for Baker there.
No doubt.
He felt pretty confident.
No doubt. All right. Now it's time to announce the beard of the week, Whit. This was a special one for you. We had 3 different guys. What we learned, Nebraska's got some good beards.
They do?
Really. Lincoln, Nebraska is a strong beard city, for sure. The first nominee that I'd like to throw in there is the guy that was driving us around on the bike when he was driving us to those
music
bars.
Vibes. Speaking of vibe check, the music,
great
everything.
Music,
that was great.
Good weather. He had 2 little hair ties in the bottom of his beard. Like he knew his beard was working. And he obviously, he cares about it a lot. And I really love the way that he was doing the hair tie deal, and it was a unique look. It wasn't just,
Yeah.
hey, my beard is long, but this is unique as well.
Yeah, and I thought the other two guys, the one guy on the sideline there working for Fox Sports.
Big Red.
Big Red.
Yeah, Big
you gotta
Red.
Be careful, you get Big Red.
Yeah,
You gotta watch
Connor
out.
loves Big Red.
Yeah, so you got to think with him. I loved his energy. He, kind of knew about the beard thing. That was cool. Like he knew a little bit about us taking pictures with people with beards, and then the guy we met out right outside the bus. That beard was. I think he went. Well, it kind of looked like he's literally been waiting for this moment. I mean, that thing was perfect. The shape, the length. It had both your qualities.
So I've never, girth and length is what we're looking for, and obviously he trimmed it up around the mouth too, which looked good. But he went.
It's a big Whit.
He just went flat on the bottom, which was nice too. And the reason that he's going to win and it puts him over the top is he was also very excited about our road trip. Yeah. He knew a lot about it. I don't know if he knew about the award or not, but he's going to know now because Mr. will throw we didn't get his name. Alan, Alex, Andy.
Hopefully he'll reach out.
Maybe he'll reach out. We're going to throw it on our social channel, but you, my friend, were wearing the same shirt as Big Whit.
Yeah, baby.
You had great Whit energy.
You trim the mustache, you're my kind of guy.
And you win for Best Beard of the Week in a tough competition in Lincoln, Nebraska. But hit us up on social media. Nominate your friend. Nominate yourself for our next Fan Beard of the Week. Lincoln, Nebraska might be my favorite beard city right now. But that's it for us, and we'll be back next week on Wednesday with all the big news from Week 6. And we're going to keep responding to your comments, picking a Fan Beard of the Week. So send in your beard picks. Follow the show on all social media at Fitz and Whit with the A-N-D spelled out. Thank you. Fitz and Whit is a Wave original. Thank you again to Daniel Jones for joining us and to our production crew. And thanks again to all you beardos for tuning in. Bye!
Peace.